as you know, defense can feel like a nightmare at times in Madden 26 because it's so hard to find plays that actually work. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the complete guide to the Vikings Defensive Playbook, including the best glitch blitzes and coverage shells that are going to have you dominating on defense in your next game. You're absolutely not going to miss out on any of the tips I have for you in this video, so make sure you watch all the way to the end, and let's jump right into it. Alright, before you even get into the plays, the coverages, anything else, you need to make sure that you have the right defensive settings enabled. Let me show you the best ones to use right now. Alright, so when we talk about the best defensive settings, you need to come into your settings, you need to come into game options, you need to scroll down until you find gameplay helpers, alright? These are the ones that you need to make sure that you have on. You always want to make sure you have ball hawk turned on. This is going to help you catch interceptions when the ball's in the air on defense, alright? Defensive heat seeker assist. This is going to help you make those suction dive tackles in the backfield on ball carriers. Let's see, we will be talking about this later in the video, so you'll get to see this in action, right? So, always have that on. Heat seeker window size, people ask me this. You want to make sure anything above 100%. 100 is the default setting when you have it on, so 100 and up is perfectly fine. I honestly don't touch mine, just leave it on 100. Switch to delay, making sure this is on none because you don't need any extra delay in your ability to switch stick. And then defensive switch assist, when you're trying to switch players for whatever reason, pre-play and post-play, really, switch assist is going to help you do that, all right? So those are the settings that you can set before the game. Those save from game to game. You don't need to set them every game, right? But these ones, the coaching adjustments, you also need to make sure that you have these correct, all right? Defensive motion response needs to be on disabled. Cornerback matchups need to be on balance, and auto flip needs to be on. All three of these are going to help your alignment on defense, help you get that correct, all right? But when we scroll down here, I don't really believe in a lot of these other ones just because I don't think they work that well. But I do believe in RPO pass key a little bit. I think it could be a better setting, but it helps your defenders stop the RPO, your AI defenders a little bit better while you can focus on the run. Curl flats on 5, safety depth on close, safety width on pinch. Now, key thing to understand, if you're playing franchise especially, or you're playing like regs, there's going to be times where they have super fast receivers. Maybe the Browns aren't the best example of this, but like they could have super fast receivers, and so really that's going to be a problem for you when you have your safety depth on close. So in that case, if you know that that's the case, make sure you back those safeties up so you're not giving up big touchdowns. But if you can use it, having it on is nice because you see how Harrison Smith is much closer to the line of scrimmage or wherever your safety is, which allows for him to go make that play. And again, he's not going to get beat over the top unless he's just way slower than their receiver, because clearly you see when I lob that pass over the top, Harrison Smith is still able to get back there and make a play on that ball. Also, like I said, your alignment on defense, cornerback matches a balance. You really don't want this to happen for you on defense where your defense becomes misaligned because your guys are trying to match up by whatever you have it set to. Let's just say you have it set to speed. Well, now all your guys, when the offense no huddles, they're going to try to realign based on, the speed of the receivers, which is going to be a huge problem for you because if they just take the snap and they're going to have that pass, right there for an easy touchdown over the top, really on both sides. So those are the best defensive settings that you need to be using to pair with this. Zone drops are going to change throughout the game, depending on what formation your opponent's in, depending on what defense you want to run. But overall, those are the best defense settings that you need to be using right now. Alright, having the best defensive settings is very, very important, but also if you're not able to stop the run every single time in Madden 26, no one's going to pass the ball and defense is going to feel really difficult. Let me show you the best automatic run defense here in Madden 26. Alright, so we're going to come into nickel 3-3 double mug. We're going to be coming into mid blitz here. Alright, this is the automatic run defense that I'm going to be talking about here. Again, from the Vikings playbook. Vikings playbook, honestly, a cheat code. But what we're going to do right here is we're going to take this linebacker pace. Alright, and you see how if we look at the offensive line block targeting, you see how there's two flame icons over the top of the outside corner and the safety on the right side. Two guys that really don't have a huge impact on this play since we're going to be running the other way. But watch what happens as soon as I move my user over. Now one of the flame icons moves over the top of my A-gap rusher right here, right? And so what's going to happen is when they take the snap, he's just going to walk in the backfield free every single time. I've been playing Madden a long time, as you guys could probably imagine, and this is one of the craziest run defenses I've ever seen because it really makes stopping the run, especially, this is going to work very well against inside shotgun runs, which, as we know, are the most common run types in the game, but you're really going to make it to where, you know, they can't run the ball. Now, there's going to be times where Judkins, the running back, can actually break this tackle. So, I mean, right here, a lot of the time, though, he's going to be able to make that tackle, your linebacker. But if you really want to make it even better here, stand over the center, run down, but then click on. Like, that's an example of what I'm talking about, where he can break the tackle. So that's why you want to actually make the tackle yourself a lot of the time, instead of letting the computer do it. You can let the computer do it, but if it was 4th and 1 and I was doing this, I would take the snap, I would click onto him, and then I would spam A, or I would press X to make the dive tackle, just so that I have more control. It's very rare that they can break a user tackle, so boom, click on, and then dive. That's where Heat Seeker Assist becomes very valuable, because having Heat Seeker Assist basically gives me like a Heat Seeker to be able to cut his legs out and get this dive tackle. So you see, I click on early, I don't allow him to speed boost, I don't allow him to get away, and I mean, you can just see how this is one of the most consistent, you've seen it time and time again here in this video, of just it walking in the backfield, and then you just have to make the play with your user to give yourself the best chance to actually get that guy down to the ground. Now, you're retargeting the offensive line, so they're supposed to be able to just take the flame icon off of this guy, right? But that's really not the case, because even if they move it, you're going to see how it just puts two flame icons. It just moves the flame icon over the top of another guy, so he's still going to come in free, but also that defensive end is going to come in free. So, I mean, I've been playing this game. I actually don't know how they're supposed to move the flame icon off of this defender once you stand right here, because even when they put it over someone else, right? You put it over this defensive end. Okay, now there's just another flame icon. But then if you move it here, it's like now there's 3 flame icons. So I don't know how they're supposed to be able to get the flame icon off of the linebacker and prevent him from coming in free. But regardless, that works in your favor anyway, because you're just going to click on, make that play. And now you see how it's a party in the backfield. So they really have no good options when running inside runs and you run double mug. So if you're struggling to stop the run, this is one of the best and easiest run defenses here from the Vikings playbook. Alright, so if you're enjoying this complete breakdown of the Vikings defensive playbook here in Madden 26, again, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive ebooks, tips, and tricks just like this every single day on Madden 26, and you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want my full Minnesota Vikings defensive ebook, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off. It's fully savable on your phone with full write-ups, videos, screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense here in Madden 26. Go check it out today, and let's jump right back into the video. Alright, as we jump into pass defense here, you're going to need a go-to blitz to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry in a critical situation. Let me show you the best glitch blitz right now, again, from the Vikings playbook. Alright, so that blitz that I'm going to be talking about here is going to be Mike Blitz 0 from Nickel 33 Cub. And the reason why this is the case is because this is a great overload blitz. So what you're going to see is I'm going to shift my defensive line to the left right here. And now I'm going to come stand directly right here over, or not directly, excuse me. You want to stand about 2 yards behind the center, or in front of the center really, and over his left shoulder. Alright, and then you're going to drop your outside linebacker, or excuse me, your outside linebacker into a curl flat right here. So it's going to look something like this, and right off the snap, you're going to D-pad switch stick. So really what that means is you're just going to press your D-pad to the right so that you can switch onto this curl flat defender, and then your user, Cashman, who you're starting to play on, is already in a blitz assignment, so he's going to run down and hopefully occupy the center. Now, as I tell you guys, no blitz is ever 100%, so there's going to be times where he runs into the guard, but when he runs in the center, you're going to have a 4-on-3 advantage on this left side. So boom, I'm going to take the snap, D-pad switch stick, and there you see, even right there, you're able to just walk in the backfield totally free, even with the running back on a check and release, which is really like him blocking. So really that time it was like 6-on-5, and we're still able to come in free. Because that's what I tell you guys, it's like even when they block the running back, there's going to be times where he doesn't even recognize blitzes, but it's exactly what I wanted right here, all right? So whole offensive line is going to shift that direction because my user's blitzing, and that's going to allow my guy off the edge to come in completely free even when they block their running back, right? So right here, we're actually going to have them. A lot of people like using base protection, as we know. And so really what you're going to see is we're going to shift our defense, shift our defensive line to the left. We're going to drop our linebacker into a curl flat assignment, and we're going to stand in the same spot, 2 yards over the left shoulder of the center right here, so that when they, and always pass them in your defense, especially if you know they're passing, it's going to make your shed, it's going to make your blitzes a lot better because your defenders aren't focused on the run at all. So that's what you're going to do. Take the snap, immediately D-pad switch stick, and this time you're going to see how my linebacker is going to come in free. So you're still going to create that same advantage on that left side, but sometimes it's that edge rusher and sometimes it's your user that ends up coming in free. But you're able to see how, again, 6-on-5 advantage for them right here, but we're still able to come in free because the line never recognizes my user. And then this, again, something else I tell you guys all the time with pass protection, running backs are going to have a tough time in pass protection against linebackers and safeties and defensive linemen. So it's really like, it doesn't even matter that they're blocking their halfback. It really honestly helps us that they are, because he's still going to just get overpowered very, very quickly, and we're still going to be able to get routine, very quick pressure. So you also have full freedom with this blitz if you want to run more of a zone coverage shell, depending on the formation that they run. Like you can run a cover 2 right here, or you could, you know, pretty much just run a cover 3 cloud type of defense. Right, so maybe something like this, right, if you wanted to. So you have full freedom to do whatever you want, you know, with your coverage, but you're going to see how it's going to be the same thing. Shift D-line left, pass commit your defense, right, boom, D-pad switch stick, and then you're able to see same thing. That time, actually, 2 guys come in free. The key, though, is D-pad switching onto that man and then lurking over the middle of the field. So if you wanted to put, like, a lurker kind of linebacker here, that's fine. Just make sure you're getting back over the middle of the field, taking away this route. You can also switch stick if you want to after you D-pad switch stick, but you have to use the D-pad for the first switch, and then you can transition to using the right stick if you want. But a lot of great flexibility here with this defense. But again, shift the D-line, pass commit, stand in the correct spot, D-pad switch stick, and you're going to get that screening pressure from my Blitz 0. Alright, so if you're enjoying that breakdown of the Vikings defense here in Madden 26, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm the only creator right now who's going to post daily Madden 26 tips and tricks for you to help you get better, so you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of the content that I have. But let's jump into the final 2 defenses. Alright, now I'm going to show you a simple defense that literally takes like 1 adjustment to set up. It's very, very good, and like I said, very simple to run. Alright, so we're going to come into Tampa 2 here from Nickel 3-3 single mug, and what we're going to do is call the Texas 4-man custom stunt. Alright, this was a great defense at the beginning of the year. It kind of fizzled out, but I do believe it's back, and I don't think enough people use it. And the reason why I don't think enough people use it is because it's going to absolutely annihilate base protection. So all you want to do here with this blitz is shift your defensive line, spread your defensive line by pressing D-pad right and then left stick up. Right, you're going to spread your defensive line, and you're going to you're going to pass commit your defense. So you're going to spread D-line, pass commit, stand right here over the center, and you're going to see how right now they're in base protection. And just look at this, where that man's going to come in completely free, push his way into the quarterback, get sacked. This is going to happen time and time again, and this is the best blitz defense, or it's really not even, it's just a stunt, right, to obliterate base protection, because base protection is great, but when you start using stunts in certain blitzes versus it, it becomes very human, right, and it's just not that great. So again, same thing, base protection, you see how that man just comes flying in free off the edge, and again, this is just going to take advantage of the most common pass protection type that everyone wants to utilize, and it's why you certainly need to have it in your defensive repertoire. So again, we're just going to spread our defensive line. Right here, they can even block their running back, but you're going to notice how if you can get a, like, he didn't even see the guy. Honestly, right there, like 2 guys came in free, the running back can only pick one of them. It's such a fast blitz. And that's why, like, it's very important to have a complete defensive scheme watching this entire video to the end, because it's like, once you start using, you can't use this all game on certain people. They're going to pick up on it, but it's like, it doesn't matter, because if you use this once, like, let's just say you call this on the first play of the game. Now they're on 2nd and 18, or 2nd and 15. Now that's a chance to get off the field, and as we know, one stop can drastically change this game. So this is like a surprise blitz. I would probably wouldn't start the game in this. I would just normally call it at a certain critical juncture, but I'm spreading my defensive line. I'm standing directly over the center. I'm going to pass through my defense as always to make my blitzes a lot better, and so you're just going to see how, I mean, consistently, time and time again, sometimes it's off the left side, sometimes it's on the right side, and it's going to be super, super dangerous for you. But here's going to be their counter. I'm not just going to tell you guys blitzes. I'm also going to give you the counter and then my counter to their counter, right? And so what they're going to do probably is when I go ahead and spread my defensive line, right, what they're going to do is they're going to notice that if they pick up on this blitz or this stunt, they just know that they can just hike the ball and immediately roll out because there's no one in to contain. Even with like 68 speed shooter, Sanders are still able to pick up a first down simply because there's no containment, you know, on that right side or really on the left side because you have a stunt. So they're just going to roll out on you. They can basically develop a whole rollout scheme and dot you from outside the pocket. So what you need to do is instead you're going to change your stunt to the left Texas two-man, right? You're still going to spread your defensive line with this to show them the same look. So they're still going to think you're calling the four-man. And so they're still going to think they're going to roll out. And so what they're going to do is now they're going to take the snap, but there's going to be a contain. Well, you see also that time he came in free before the quarterback could even roll out. So that's a possibility too. Another advantage that you're going to get with this stunt. So this is the two-man stunt. You're still stunting off the left side. So you're still going to be able to obliterate base protection with your left side, but now you see how this man right here is in a contain. So even when the quarterback tries to roll out, he's just going to roll right into a contain. So you're really getting the best of both worlds. You could run, I believe, this defense every play. You could use the left Texas two-man stunt every play because you're still going to get that stunt off of one side against base protection and dominate, but then you're also going to be able to contain the quarterback off of the other side. So both of these defenses certainly ones that you want to mix in because don't get me wrong, the Texas four-man still super valuable, but when they start countering it, picking up on it, switch to left Texas two-man, and you're going to be able to dominate with both of those. But that's a very simple defense that you can start running here from 3-3 single mug. All right, too many times I see you guys give up once the offense gets inside the 5 or specifically inside the 1 yard line. Let me show you the best goal line defense to hold the door and stop them from scoring touchdowns. All right, so if we come into goal line, we're going to put them in quarterback sneak right here. This can also work against fullback dive, fullback dive, power O, pretty much any run, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to come into goal line 5-3. I believe this is in every defensive playbook in the game, but obviously we're talking about the Vikings playbook here. But you're going to scroll to your packages until you find the speed package, all right? This is essentially going to get your fastest players, both on the defensive line and the linebackers on the field, and you're going to come into gaps B. All right, gaps B is going to be your play call here, and you're going to notice how this B gap right here is open, right? Or I guess that would be the B gap, right? Where the quarterback can just fall over to the right side here, and I mean, like, honestly, though, he's really not going to be able to. But you see how he's able to fall just a little bit. So if he only needed, like, right here, he needs 1.5 yards. But if he just needed, like, a half yard, this gap is open enough for him to fall forward and pick up those yards. So really, that's the problem that you're creating because you're allowing people to get the ball so close to the end zone. And then when you're running goal line defense, you're just leaving it like this. But really what you need to do is you need to pinch your defensive line so that, but you see how even when I pinch my line, that gap is, like, still open just a little bit. So now if I come right here and stand inside that gap, now it's not. So essentially, you need to be as close to the line of scrimmage as possible without being offsides. So here in practice mode, there's a blue line. I don't believe there's a blue line in games, but you just get a good feel for it. You're going to be able to, notice it pretty easily. So you stand in this gap, and now you see as soon as the quarterback takes the ball, I just push him to the ground with my user because I'm going to come in free. Right? It's the same thing I talked about with the double mug automatic run defense earlier in the video, where if I just stand here, look at the offense, right? Now there's going to be a flame icon, and I'm just going to be able to push that guy to the ground every single time. Whether the ball is at the 2, whether it's at the 1, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be very easy for me to be able to make a play on this guy. Now, what you're going to notice is that if they flip their play now, because if they flip their play, I'm standing in the wrong gap. Right? Now, I'm still honestly going to be able to play pretty good run defense even from here, but what I would do instead is move my user over and now come stand in this gap. And you see how I'm able to basically fit in between these two guys, so now I'm standing in this gap, and it's going to be the same thing where as soon as the quarterback takes a snap, I'm going to just be able to push him to the ground. So how do you know which gap you want to stand in? You're really just looking to see what side the outside tight end is on. He gives away the side that they're running to. So if they flip their play, you go to the other side. If they come out with it on the left, then you know to just stand on the left side. But also, even if they run a different run, like Power O, right, and we pinch our defensive line, right, and we stand in the same spot, you don't even really need to run commit here. I'm not even run committing. Now you're going to notice how there's 2 flame icons over the top of these defensive tackles. So when I'm going to get blocked, but you see how, I mean, we just stopped the quarterback before he can even hand the ball off. They just lost like 7 yards on that play. So really, if they're going to call a different run, you're going to get blocked. But now you're going to allow some of your other guys to come in free. So again, as close as possible without being offsides, they're going to call Power O, and so they're just going to get tackled really as soon as they hand the ball off, and there's going to be nowhere for them to run. So this really is the best goal line defense here in this game, because it's going to essentially eliminate their ability to run the ball from the goal line formation, and it's going to be way better than what a lot of people do, which is just give up on the goal line. But here, they're going to call halfback dive, and you're going to see how it's the same thing. There's just a stone wall in the middle, nowhere for them to run. So, I mean, you guys are going to notice if you just hold the door at the goal line, force them to kick field goals, or not be able to run the ball at all and turn the ball over on downs, you're going to see your defense get way better, give up way less points, simply by making one critical change here at the goal line. That's really not that hard. Alright, so if you enjoyed that breakdown of the Minnesota Vikings defensive playbook here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm the only creator dropping daily tips and tricks for you guys to get better here in Madden 26, and you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of the content that I have. But again, if you want my full Vikings defensive ebook with full videos, screenshots, write-ups, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense, go to the link down below in the pinned comment, grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. I can't wait to help you out on defense. But if you want a dominant offense to pair with this elite defense, check out this video right here where I break down the Bears offensive ebook in Madden 26. I'll see you over there. Peace.